Good afternoon. You are going to have to excuse my voice because I'm just getting it back. And so I won't be on here long. Kind of nursing a sinus infection, but medicine is on deck, and so God is able. Good to see you, Del John. Hey, Cedric, how are you? And so today we're going to talk about perseverance for the most part, and just talking about how we were made for this. Uh, Esther 4:14 reminds us that even in the most difficult situations, we must ask ourselves the question that Esther was asked. Who knows? Maybe you are going through this because you are the one for a time such as this. And so let's talk about how we're made for even the struggle that we go through. Hey, Miss Lucy. So y'all excuse me if I clear my throat every now and then, but I didn't want to miss a day. I haven't missed a day in almost 6 years, so I didn't want us to miss today. However, I will not be with you long. So catch it and then share it with others. So what we want to kind of express is that often we find ourselves in situations and we feel like there's no way I'm going to make it through this. That how could God place me in this situation where I have to deal with this because I don't know how to handle this. I don't know how to navigate this. But sometimes we have to be still and stop thinking about why we're going through, and trust that God, who knows all things, may have us going through this because we've been called to deal with these kinds of things and to be a catalyst for others, a conduit for others to be okay in their space. Maybe we're called for this, for a time such as this. Maybe the struggle that we find ourselves embroiled in, maybe we are chosen for something and we don't know why we were chosen. I saw something earlier that talked about survivor's remorse, and sometimes we struggle because we know someone else who was in our same situation, but it didn't turn out well for them. We've got to remember that everybody's journey is their own. My journey is not your journey. So what I go through or don't go through has nothing to do with your journey and what you go through and what you don't go through. Yes, we can be testimony for one another to give each other strength and hope and resilience. But the truth is, my journey is my journey and your journey is your journey. And we've got to know that you are often put in situations because you're the chosen one for that season. You're the chosen one for that situation. You were called to this for a time such as this. We got to remember that as we navigate through what's going on in the world. We got to do that as we got to think about it as we navigate what's going on in our own lives. The light that shines within us is shining for a time such as this. Our perseverance and our testimony is for a time such as this. What we may know because of our experiences are to help someone else along the way, and we've been chosen for a time such as this. You were built for this. You were made for it. God created you fearfully and wonderfully, and even though it feels like it's not always fearfully and wonderfully, especially those of us who have health challenges, God is still keeping us. So in the keeping of us, we've got to know that obviously God determined that we were made for this. And so our struggle, while it may be difficult, there's hope, there is light on the other side, that we're going through this. And when we get through it, then we will know God's purpose. That's why when we say, for we know that all things are working together for good, for them who love the Lord and are called according to God's purpose. God's purpose for our life may feel difficult, but we've got to get all the way through it in order for us to look back and recognize in that rearview mirror that God took me through that so that I could get to this place, so that I could be prepared for this. So no matter what we find ourselves going through, we've got to know that we have been chosen, called, identified. Sometimes feel like we're being picked on, but for a time such as this. Hi, Shanetta. Hey, Sister Benson. Hey, my joy. Hi, Shamika. Just so that we know that God doeth all things well, and even though it doesn't feel like it, a lot going on all over the world, and we don't understand why we are here to experience it. I look at Sister Benson, who's been around to experience every up and down of the last several decades, and all that we have gone through from Jim Crow all the way to this present time. And I'm sure there are times when she asks herself, God, why are you allowing me to experience all of this? Well, sometimes you're called for a time such as this to keep down the anxiety of those of us who may not have been through so much, so that we know that we can make it through and that God is a keeper. There are those of us who are going through grief. Hey, Valencia. And we don't know why we're the one everyone's depending on. You're going through it too. Well, God has called and chosen you for this time, and you were made for it. And it may not feel like it, but you were made for a time such as this. This is your season to show and to shine. You thought your background was for ministry alone. Sometimes it's for those whom you love, to show them that God is still a keeper and that God mends broken hearts. So I just wanted to come on for a few minutes. Like I said, I'm nursing this sinus infection that I know is already healed. So I thank you all for your prayers. But I didn't want to talk on this too long because I don't want to strain it. But just know that you are made for whatever this season is in your life. God made you for it. God has prepared you for it. If you remember, if you look back, if you don't get caught up in your emotions and you really be still and know that God is God, you were made for this season. Now, be still, know God is God. Trust God beyond your own understanding. And go out and do it. Stand firm. Push through. You have all you need to do. Amen. Hey, Reese. Hey, Sandra. I'm glad that you all are here. Please share. Somebody needs to know that they're made for whatever they're going through, and they're going to make it. God bless you. Heaven smile on you. I'm going to go and drink some more tea. I love y'all. See you soon. Listen, you're made for this. Go forth. Keep pressing. You can do it with God's help. And be encouraged. See you soon.